Hey, what's going on, Maschine Masters? My name is MGTheFuture. Thank you guys for joining us on this channel today. Today I will be looking at the AKAI FIRE for FL Studio controller. I'll be using FL Studio 20 for Mac, and basically what I want to do is cover one of the features, which is probably most apparent by looking at it, and that's step sequencing drums. So I'm not going to take a whole bunch of your guys' time. I'm just going to show you what that workflow looks like, especially for those of you who may be interested in adding this type of controller to your FL Studio workflow and setup. So this particular controller is very easy to use. It's nearly plug and play. The first thing you want to make sure though is if you're a FL Studio user already, make sure you update to the latest version of FL Studio. I believe it's 20.05.85, and you want that set up so that this device is recognized within your MIDI settings on the controller type list. AKAI FL Studio Fire. If you don't see that on the list, make sure you update your FL Studio. Once you have that set up and plugged in and selected, when you plug this in, it'll automatically go to the particular layouts that it's supposed to go to. If you don't, it'll just be a generic MIDI controller affecting pitch only. So in this particular example I have on the screen, I have a bass line, a pad, and a keyboard. I'm gonna play that for you first. That's where we're gonna build our drums around. So some really cool vibes. What I like so far is having that dedicated transport control on the FL Studio AKAI FIRE. So there's a couple things we can do. We can make the drums in this pattern, or we can go to a new pattern, and each time you hit up or down on the pattern slots, it creates a new pattern for you. So it's really quick to get different ideas out. A lot of times I use extra patterns for drums to separate snare rolls and percussion fills. But in this case, because we have the bass line and everything as part of the sample I'm creating, I want to play that in the background and work on drums. Now to work on drums, I got to go to an empty channel here. So I'm going to hold Alt key and select this fourth row here. If I want to reveal more rows, I can do that just by scrolling down. As you can see on the screen, you can get a red outline of what channels you're selecting. So right now I'm on channel kick, which is the fourth channel here, but the first one here based on my selection. So I'm gonna go to my browser, I'm gonna go to my drum kits. I'm gonna pick some really basic drums. I'm gonna get a kick going, a hi-hat, and a snare maybe. I'm gonna hit right on the grid button to audition that kick. That one sounds good. So I'm gonna press the select button, send that selected channel to focused plugin. Basically, I'm gonna use that first option. You can open up in a new channel if you want to. I don't need to. I'll replace a kick with a kick, etc. My next one is gonna be clap. So I'm gonna hold Alt, select that second channel, which is actually the sixth, but the second here, based on our view. I'm gonna go down to like percussions. I think I should have a clap in here somewhere. That'll work. All right, same story, go down one more. Seems like we need a hi-hat. And then lastly, a snare. It's probably the most important, right? So now I can just program this in step sequencer view. And whatever you press here corresponds with what's on the screen. And if I want more, and I'm going to need it for this particular loop, I hit grid left and right when I'm out of browser mode, and it'll let me select the different ranges. So I got to start with one piece at a time. I'll start with my snare, and I'll go through the grid, mark the snare in the same location each. Then I can hit play to make sure it's in the right position. As you can see, these particular grids or steps are color coded. It's an RGB based controller, so it'll assume the colors. I can't tell the difference between the two greens here. You may not be able to see that very clearly, but you can see on my screen the patterns are in a gradient. So if I want that snare to stand out, I could change its color. Let's say it's something red, and you'll see my pad turn red clearly here. And of course you can adjust the lighting and dimming of this particular colors on this controller. But it's really cool that it's color coordinated. So I got the hi-hats, I got the snare. I want to turn that kick up a little bit. That kick is just like, meh. Now at the very end, I'm gonna do a very simple 4-step snare roll, but I wanted to pitch it. And to pitch things or to access your channel controls on this controller, you just press and hold whatever step you wanna edit, and then you can move up and down. And as you can see on the screen, we get to adjust what pitch that key is in. So that'd be really cool for a lot of tuned kicks and 808s, although you may want to adjust the sustain and release and portamento and stuff in piano roll. But if you're just experimenting with like a club or EDM idea and your kick is tuned, it's a really quick way to do that. So I'm going to go through each of these and kind of do like an old school pitch roll from the old Dipset Rockefeller days and hear what that sounds like. And that's a little bit too loud, so I'll make sure that track is selected and turn it down. I can also filter it on the fly. Same with the kick, I can filter that some. And if I want, I can just mute those hi-hats for a session. So that's that. This is the AKAI FIRE for FL Studio. Just came out, so I know you guys are going to be checking for it, especially my FL Studio gang. I think it's a pretty dope controller. On first use, it does take some getting used to, because FL Studio is one of the first programs that really allows you to do so much with your mouse and engaging with the mouse and right-clicking and having a function just by clicking everywhere on the screen. So going from that mind state to a controller slowed me down just a little bit. But once you get used to recognizing your patterns on the controller itself, I imagine this will be much faster because you can select multiple things at once. Unlike with the mouse, you have to click one thing at a time. On this, you can select multiple things and adjust them at the same time, as you can see on the screen. So there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it because you have access to multiple functions at once with your hands, and it's more tactile. And of course, there's different modes that maybe I'll get into in other videos. So it's a really dope controller at a really affordable price. Let us know what you think about it so far in the comments. If you have any questions or concerns, also let us know in the box below. If you're on social media, be sure to follow me at MGTheFuture. Be sure to also follow at Maschine Masters. Until next time, guys, peace.